So it's Monday morning, the 21st of January, and we've just taken a phone call from the lady at the estate agents who deals with the contracts. And apparently she's had communication over the weekend via email from our buyer saying that he has lost his finance. So he can't buy the house, which is a huge disappointment. We were expecting him to be able to sign and exchange contracts this week, but it looks as though that isn't going to happen. So we are going to have to put the house back on the market, look for a new buyer, or he has to go off and find alternative finance before we can progress any further. Great news, absolutely fantastic, exactly what we wanted on a Monday morning. Not. It's just gone 3 o'clock on Wednesday, 23rd of January. Yeah, I'm on my way to Mum and Dad's as per. Mum's doing really well. The district nurse is very happy with the progress that she's making with the leg. And there was talk about having the bandage come off next week, which would be nice, which means that she'll be able to pretty much get up and start walking about, and maybe even venture out of the house again, but we'll have to wait and see. The nurse is coming back again on Friday, so we'll know more then. I've been working on 2 more journals today, tea dyeing, printing, cutting out, distressing, sewing, stitching, that kind of thing. The usual malarkey. Once they're ready, I will obviously show you. Apologies for the light. It is winter sunlight, which means it is quite low. We're getting dark in another hour or so. So, you know, I do apologise if the light's shining through and blinding you. Just imagine what it's like for me. Just gone 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, 24th of January, and as you may have gathered from the footage previous to this that Mum is back up and on her feet again, well enough to go shopping, which was a huge surprise to me when I got there last night. But yeah, we ended up going shopping for just about an hour or so. We only went to the one shop to do the food shopping. She did have a trolley to help steady her feet and everything, but she managed it, so that was a great little mini triumph, which is it's the first time she'd actually been out of the house for about a month, since before she went into hospital, really. The first time since coming back after being let out of hospital on 1st of January that she'd actually gone outside. So yeah, that was pretty good last night. Very happy. So it's now almost 11 a.m. I got back to Leeds from Mum and Dad's about 9:10 this morning. And so since then I've been just dealing with a few, I had an issue with my website that I had to deal with. I had to call technical support. Also, some of the pre-order stencils for my February release was showing out of stock, and actually I'm not out of stock, so that's gone back on again. And then I had a phone call that I had to ring Germany. I had to ring somebody in Germany to discuss some day job stuff. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with this morning. I finished journal number 1, the floral. Well, I'm calling it the ladies' floral journal, but it's not really. I shouldn't really be sexist. It's a floral journal. So I've done 1. I'm now just putting the signatures together for number 2. I decided that I can make 2 just as easily as I can 1. So if I've prepared all the papers, tea-dyed all of the papers, created the covers. I did 2 at the same time rather than just do 1. So I've actually got, for the first time, when I offer this one for sale, there will actually be 2 rather than just the 1, which is good, because I know some people out there aren't quite as quick on the uptake. So this gives somebody 2 chances to get the journal rather than just the 1. They're not, they are very, very similar, but not identical. They can't be identical because the papers and the decorations and that kind of stuff on the inside are just slightly different. Obviously the tea dye-in is unique each time you do it, but pretty much they look the same, but are slightly different. So I've got to just go through all of these signatures. I can pierce them and then get them stitched in. So that's my job for this morning. All good fun. Mr. Bentley, want to go for a wee-wee? Do you want to go out? Excuse me a moment. Come on then. Go on then. It's now almost 1 o'clock on Friday. I've been sent out, well, not sent out really. I'm going out. I've got to go to the post office to do some website orders. I've got to pick up a little bit of shopping, but also Ian needs some little small AAA batteries for some lumen discs that he's bought. Now a lumen disc is one of those, it's like a circular light that's built up of tiny little pinpricks inside, like miniature LEDs, but when they activate they look like lightning that run across the disc. They're used in sci-fi movies and goodness knows what else, for special effects and to make things look futuristic. And he's bought 8 of these little lumen discs, or plasma discs if you like, but no batteries to fit. So he's asked me to nip out and get some for him, which I'm going to do. That's all of my little jobs done. I've been to the post office. I've found Ian his batteries, which was a bit of a bargain because it was buy 1 packet, get 1 packet free. Yeah, hey, result, we love that. And then while I was there, there's a little grocery store just off to one side. So I nipped in there, bought a few bits and pieces for dinner tonight. I've decided that we're going to have scampi. We call it scampi here in the UK. I'm not sure whether it's the same in the States, but essentially scampi is langoustine coated in crispy breadcrumbs. And you can either deep fry it, which isn't very healthy, or you can oven bake it, which is what we're going to do. And we're going to do that with fries, peas and sweet corn. That's what we're going to have for dinner this evening. And it's going to be lovely. Oh, and I also purchased a small, and I emphasize small, strawberry cheesecake. And it's one of those very small ones where you can just cut in half and have half each without feeling too much like a pig. He says.
Hello everyone. Mike mentioned lumen discs earlier when he was chattering to you.
I did.
I've just got them in. I shall give you a demo. They were invented in 1827 by Victor Lumen, who was part of Verne Industries.
And how much of that is true?
Verne Industries bit's true. A bit. Come this way. So, we've got 3 different colours. We've got...
Excuse the Domino's pizza thing.
Yeah. We've got blue. We have green. And we have... Let me turn this big light off over there.
Okay, turn the big light off. Yeah. Look at those.
But what's good about them is, if we just pull it back one, don't make a noise. Hang on. One. And it also follows your fingers.
So they're touch sensitive.
Touch sensitive.
And
voice activated.
dum.
And the dogs come in.
Dum, dum.
Good, aren't they?
Which also means that they're music activated.
Yes, it does. So what I'm going to do, I'm putting these with a little ring round them in MDF. I'll show you.
You're going to turn the light back on now. Blinded by the light.
They each have a little ring on, like that. And then on those, there will be little rivets on them all.
4 rivets.
So they'll all have a little copper and brass ring on. But what's clever about them is that when they're finished, you can pop them on a hat. They've got a clip on, so they can go in a brim of a hat, in a pocket, or onto your belt.
You're struggling with a belt clip.
There.
There you go.
How cool are they?
Fabulous. So you can have electric pants.
No, they're not that big. So they're for sale in Whitby in 2 weeks' time.
Excellent stuff. So that
They are lumen discs.
Saturday morning, just gone 10 o'clock, 5 past 10 a.m. to be precise. on the 26th of January. I just need to nip out to the pharmacist, just picking up a prescription for Ian. Nothing serious, it's just a repeat prescription. But I didn't sleep very well last night. My brain was working on a little conundrum. Journal making and closures. I've wanted to do a journal with a hidden magnetic clasp or a hidden magnetic closure, and my brain was on overdrive last night trying to work out the mechanics of how to embed the magnets and how to cover the strap the best way, and it kept me awake and it kept me awake and it kept me awake. And the last time I remember looking at the clock, it was almost 3 a.m. The other thing that was keeping me awake was obviously the contracts for the house. We've had another offer now from a new buyer, but the offer is a lot lower, and we don't really know the guy's financial situation that clearly to be able to make any kind of decision. But it's one of those, well, it's a different guy, a different offer than the one that's been messing us about. So do we take that? We just don't know. We just don't know. Lots more discussions to be had, a lot of soul searching, and a lot of head scratching, I think, this weekend. It's Sunday 27th and it's almost 2:15. Sorry, I'm not fiddling with myself, I'm just fastening my zip. I know that looked quite bad, didn't it? Anyway, so today we've been out already, done some grocery shopping for dinner and a few essentials and a few non-essentials too. A couple of treats because both of us are feeling that way inclined. Ian's decided to take Mr. Bentley out on an early walk because we have guests coming this afternoon. Our friends Jake and Greg are coming over for a visit. I don't know whether they're bringing Ripley and Creature with them, Bentley's friend Whippet. These are the guys that we have play dates with. I don't think Ripley and Creature are coming. I think it's just Greg and Jake. They're popping over for a cup of tea and a chat and a catch up, that kind of stuff for later on. I've been pottering again. Still haven't quite managed to tidy up just yet. I was watching a couple of YouTube videos while I was trying to sleep again last night. Still got this thing about the house buzzing around in my head. Well, we both have really. But I was watching a couple of YouTube videos and I came across a YouTube channel called My Creative something or other. Can't remember what it was called. Let me see if I can find it again. Anyway, while I'm finding the name of this YouTube channel, the lady that was doing the project, a lady called Claire Charville, who I think I've met possibly in the past. The name's very, very familiar to me. I think we have met or talked or something in the past, either at a class or at a show or whatever. I think I've actually met Claire before. She seems familiar, voice is familiar, and what she does is familiar. Yeah, it's My Creative Spirit. Now, that's the name of the YouTube channel that Claire does. And I'm very impressed. I love the stuff that she creates. She creates mini albums, photo albums, keepsake albums, that kind of stuff, and other altered and mixed media stuff, predominantly with Graphic 45 papers, but some other brands too. Another company called Stamperia she started stocking on her website too, which I've noticed, but anyway, I digress. Love what she does. I think it's extremely, extremely talented. Not necessarily me, you know, there's only so many photo albums that you can create, and I don't really do that kind of stuff to sell yet, maybe. But one of the things that she did do was she created an A6 notebook for you know, like to keep in your bag. And I know my journals that I've created in the past have always been kind of large sized ones. So I thought today I would have a go at doing a small sized one. So this is an A6, European and Australian A6, probably around about similar size to A2 in the US. So it's an A2, A6 kind of notepad, and it's just going to be stitched with 2 holes. So, because he's not going to have that many papers in it, but I'm going to put multiple signatures in, but I'm going to try and do it by putting them just through the same hole, which is why I've used a crocodile to punch the holes rather than an awl. So obviously I've worked out exactly where they're going to go. Haven't kind of worked out exactly how many signatures I'm going to get in there. Probably I might be able to get 3 or 4 decent sized signatures in there. And then I'm going to have a play at decorating it, but this time decorating it in something completely different to fabric or the book cloth that I normally do. I might actually try decorating this using some papers that I've got. I've got a huge stack of Graphic 45, Tim Holtzy kind of papers down here that I don't really use that very often. In fact, Ian uses them more often than I do. He keeps stealing some of the nicest backing papers to add onto some of his creations on the plinth and on the backs and boxes and that kind of stuff. So actually he gets more use out of those than I do. So I think it's about time I started to use up some of those as well. So I think I'm going to have a bash at creating an A6 notepad, or I'll do as much as I possibly can. I'm just trying to fasten the tape down. I'll do as much as I can before Greg and Jake arrive. So if I don't manage to get back to it later on, don't manage to get back and show you what I've done, then that's probably going to be it for today, but who knows. It's now 10 to 3, so 2:50, and I'm going to stop. I've made a horrible boo-boo, ruined it completely and utterly, so I'm giving up for the day. That's it. I'm going to go downstairs, put the kettle on, and wait for Greg and Jake to arrive. So that's it for me. I will see you all again next week. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.